Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming to my channel, and we are doing a different kind of training today. Now, the training is a very common topic for F&B, which is vodka and gin. But in that one also, I try to find out some important things which everyone should know. Those who are in F&B, they should know it by heart, but those who are just to enjoy the drink as a vodka and gin, they should know it because you can easily got argue with the barman as such. Yeah, so it's for both the benefits, but it will be mostly beneficial as my trainings are mostly if you go through the trainings, you will come to know that a lot of things are basically related to the F&B personnel, whether you are waiter, assistant manager, manager, and or any other associate as such. Well, my name is Rajiv. I'm an F&B manager, and I do have experience of nearly about 18 years in F&B service. So today I will tell you some important things about a neutral spirit, which is vodka, and of course the gin as well. So please stay tuned. As I mentioned before, that if you yourself, your hotel, and your organization need some trainings, our hotel, my hotel and myself will be very happy to assist you if you don't have any training manager or material. So please do comment below, and as well as you can communicate with me so that we can able to do the needful. All right, so without wasting much of our time, let's go ahead to understand what is vodka and gin and what are the important things. I will also give you some important tips to make classic cocktails, so which you will be able to do it. Yeah, just a twist. Anyhow, there are a lot of videos are available in YouTube and as well as other media where you will know a lot of things, but today's training is a little bit of twist here and there, so and I find out some things which everyone should know it. All right, let's go ahead. Now let's talk about vodka. Now vodka is originated in the Nordic countries and Russia in the 14th century. Now what are Nordic countries? Yeah, Nordic countries are the countries which are basically from northern side. For example, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Poland, yeah, and northern Europe basically. So on the 14th century, the vodka was invented not only by Russia but also by the Nordic countries. So these are the basic countries which we can say that they are inventor of this vodka. Before, the vodka was also it came from the word as Zenzenia voda. Yeah, Zenzenia voda is a Polish word, a Polish phrase you can say, which is called as water of life, right? As it looks like water, transparent. So it's called as Zenzenia voda. So the vodka came from that. So it's a very good thing to remember, and you can also say to your guests, and they will be quite impressed if you know Zenzenia voda, especially to the Polish guest if you got encounter as such. Then we will go to main ingredients. Traditionally, vodka was made from the cheapest, which is called plenty of starch available, which is basically potato. And they are originally done in Russia and Poland in the very, very early stage. But now the most commercial vodkas today are based on grains such as barley, rye, or wheat. Yeah, so but still the potato vodka remains the specialty style if somebody wants to, if somebody is doing it as such. So that's a very, very original way of doing the vodka production. Now, most vodkas are distilled repeatedly in a continuous still to achieve the clean, neutral taste that makes them such a popular mixtures. To further enhance the flavor purity. Sorry. Many vodkas are refined by charcoal filtration, leaving only the subtlest hint of scent and flavor. Yeah, so the charcoal filtrations are quite famous nowadays. So, and which will actually give a very distinct flavor as such. So, flavoring essence such as fruits and spices may be added at that point to give a different type of flavored vodka which are coming up nowadays as such. Although there is no official classification on the based of quality, but many vodkas ought to qualify, or the quality remains upgraded because of the grain what they use and the spring water or the water source they are using it. So that's the purity owned by multiple distillation and painstaking filtration. So your absolute, your Grey Goose, and they are having certain kind of a law or a method made by themselves, so they can give you the classic the original vodka, the real taste of the vodka, which differs because of the two main sources, which are the grains and the water source. Aging is almost always vodka is almost always bottled without aging, so there is no aging required, as you can go through some of the videos where you will come to know the process of how the vodka is made. But for the bottling they don't require any kind of aging because it's a total alcohol which is really good, and they mix it with the water source to give you the balance. The purpose of ultimate mixtures, vodka plays a starring role in many classic cocktails. I hope everybody knows about martini, the screwdriver, the cosmopolitan, and the bloody mary. So they are the main. Of course the vodka is been used in many cocktails, but I just find out the classic ones, which is more simpler and everybody should know it. Yeah. I'll give you one more tip, which is for the Bloody Mary. To make the Bloody Mary real taste good, so just roll it before you garnish it. Yeah. So how to roll it? That's build the ingredients with ice in your mixing, and just or the serving glass, then pour it the entire mix into the metal half of your mixing tin. Yeah, so you build the thing in your glass, all the thing, this Tabasco versus soy sauce, vodka, tomato juice, so and all the ingredients, and just pour it in your glass. Then pour it again in your mixture. Then just stir it and put it back in the glass with the ice. So which that distributes the vodka and the seasonings for a better tasting drink, because this is very important, because it don't shake Bloody Mary, because shaking a tomato juice creates a froth which is quite unappetizing for some guests. So don't shake a Bloody Mary, just roll it, and roll it nicely, so it will be a very good flavorful for the guest you have. All right, so some popular vodka flavors which is available nowadays are apple, berry, currant or raspberry flavor is very nice. Citrus, of course, it's lemon and lime, orange are really popular flavorful vodkas are available. And plus we have a peach, pepper, and vanilla. Yeah, you will find in many of the stores as well, and in the hotels as well, so which is quite been used to make a good quality cocktails, and it can really make your guest really happy if it will be a flavorful thing, and how much twist you can do as a barman, which is a real your thing, how you're gonna do it. All right, so that's the vodka we have spoken about. It's a small thing which I like to share with you, and that's why I have taken this topic for today's. Then let's go to the other ladies drink, or you can say gin perhaps. Yeah, so gin is very famous in ladies, but it is not a ladies drink, and anyone can enjoy it. Yeah, so let's go to the gin. The history says Francis Sylvius, yeah, remember this name. Francis Sylvius, he's in a 17th century Dutch, he's a medical professor, yeah, so who is basically the inventor of gin. In search for an inexpensive medicine, he just deuterated properties of juniper berry oil in a distilled in a pure grain neutral spirit to create a digestive tonic. Yeah, so he distilled the juniper berries with the grain spirit and to create a digestive tonic. That means he is basically wanted to have something in a medical point of view. And but his invention was noticed by an Amsterdam businessman, yeah, Lucas Bols. Yeah, so he saw a very bigger opportunity on Dr. Sylvia's discovery. So what he did, Bills added a little sugar to the doctor's concoction, and here comes the gin, yeah, so which is called as Geneva, Dutch for Jupiter. Yeah, so Geneva was the name he has given to the to market it in the market, and it is really Bull's Leiden gin, a pale gold, a slightly sweet taste, remain in the market until now under the name of London Dry Gin. And it's a dominant seller, and there are many gin cocktails which only require the London Dry gins. Yeah, so London Dry gins are really still in the market from 1700s. Yeah, so this was a very good invention which has been taken care by Mr. Bull. Yeah, so Lucas Bull is a very famous name which you should remember, and Dr. Sylvius, yeah, Francis Sylvius was the real name for the doctor, so who has actually invented gin for a medical point of view. So I'm not talking about how the gin is made, I'm just talking about what the keywords you should remember whenever in the operation point of view you can discuss with your guest. Yeah, so that's a very very important thing. You should remember these two gentlemen's name as such. So this style develops during the 1700s, when the manufacture and the sale of spirit called gin was so widespread that large-scale gin distilleries. So it was in England basically. So it was a really boom was happened in England. So the England developed a distillation process to differentiate themselves. Yeah, so they have their own thing. They called it as double distillation. So the process that produce gin, this is colorless to very pale yellow, crisp and without sweetness. So nowadays this is the gin which is quite been famous, and you will find in all around the market in different company names, different things, trademark are there. So gin is made from barley and other grains, so the same spirit which vodka is came from. So they can be used with any of the grain starch as such. The production, the grain mash is the first distilled into a neutral spirit. As everyone knows, it's a vodka basically, you can say it, but it's a neutral spirit. Yeah, but in vodka they add water already, so the vodka comes up. But before adding the water, the neutral spirit is the one which has been used for. You should go through some of the YouTube for making the gin, which shows a very nice difference in different gins. Some of the English people have made it in a very small quantity, and how they are making it, how they do a double distillation. It's a very nice thing to watch. If you got time in the YouTube, just go through it. Then it is then the neutral spirit is then redistilled with juniper berries and other aromatic essence, which is called botanicals. Yeah, so the botanicals plays a very important role nowadays to give that extensive flavor. The gin and the vodka looks like the same, but when you smell it, you will come to know whether it's a gin or whether it's a vodka. Yeah, so that citrus, that's aromatic essence is the main thing in the gin. So the citrus, the coriander, the pepper are being used to make the yield the distinctive gin flavor. Yeah, so that's one you should remember. The botanicals are the main thing. Yeah. So although there is no official classification, each brand have their own recipe for botanical contributes to their quality and distinction. So everyone is been using a very different kind of thing. Like Beefeater has some ingredients come from Kenya. There are some herbs coming from different part of Africa, some from Asia. So they mix match all the things, whatever they think it's best. They have tried it, they have experimented, and they just keep on doing the same as of now after they find out the best quality what they can give out of. Yeah, so the gin is almost always bottled without aging, similar like vodka, but it has a flavor, it has a essence, aromatic essence, because of the botanicals. The main there are many cocktails pursuits. Gin makes an ultimate kind of cocktails as such. Classic martini, the gimlet, Negroni, Bronx cocktail is also a classic gin drinks. Gin mixtures are beautiful with tonic and with the grapefruit juice. Yeah, because these are the things. The tonic, I would not suggest you to give soda with the gin, but give a tonic instead. If the guest wants, it's fine, but from our suggestion, from mixologist point of view, don't give anything other than the tonic. Now I will give you some twist and some tips when you make a cocktail. Yeah, so when a guest is asking for a gin and tonic, just squeeze a fresh lime in the gin. It gives a real nice flavorsome flavor to aroma, and it's just flush it off. Yeah, so it gives a very nice thing to give it as such. Use sweetened and bottled lime juice if you don't have anything for the gimlet. Yeah, so little bit of sweetness is required, sweet and sour. If you are making it, it has to be a good quality sweet and sour if you are making a gimlet. Does shaking a gin martini bruise the gin? Yeah, that's a very question which really shaken not stirred. So it's basically there are many things which has been, I will discuss with you in a very small thing as such. The stirring is classically the preferred method for chilling gin for a martini and served straight up, because shaking incorporates too much water and air in the drink, which dilutes the flavor and scent of the botanicals. Yeah, so you should remember, if a guest wants a really hint of a gin in a martini, then you shake it. But if they want a gin to be a very flavorful, then do not shake it, just make it stirred. After the thing, it remains, looks the same, but taste quite different if a guest wants to have a classic martini. So do not shake it. But if the guest wants to have a shake it, just shake it with enthusiasm, and it gives that kind of touch, whatever the guest wants, whatever the guest prefer. Yeah, so that's how. But my suggestion is, whenever you're making a classic martini, give it a straight up without shaking it, stir it nicely, and let it go. Yeah, so but it depends on the guest is why we are here for. So okay, I'll give you some of the botanicals which are commonly used. You can note it down, and as well as you can inform your guest that what are type of botanicals the gym company used basically. So Angelica, aniseed, caraway, citrus peel like lemon, orange, coriander, cumin, juniper berries, of course, licorice. Then we got nutmeg, rosemary, and savory. Yeah, so these are the very common botanicals which has been used in neutral spirit, so that the gin can be comes out from the second distillation process. Yeah, so this is the main thing which everybody should know it. I have mention few tips which you can always talk to your guest whenever you are serving a cocktail of gin or a cocktail of mineral vodka, yeah, which actually enhances many things when people drink it and they have some knowledge on. You tell them to feel according to your knowledge, they will think the same. That's the basic thing which F&B person are supposed to do it. Yeah, we are the salesperson, of course, and also we also required to boost the knowledge to our guests so that they can actually tell and talk about this, and as well as they will come back to you because they learn something new from you. Yeah, so this is the very very important thing which our trainings are all about, and you should know it as such. Okay, so I'll not take much of your time, it's already 30 minutes, so I will just it will be the end of the session, and we will be, as I mentioned before, that if you have any kind of training requirements, any kind of things which you are looking for to have which myself and my hotel can able to do it, just put a comment below so that you can communicate with me and we can able to do the needful. Yeah, anyhow guys, thank you very much, and hope to see you again in a few days time, and have a nice day. Stay home, stay safe. Bye, thanks.